Good evening and welcome to the Tasmanian Premier League Football Show. Joining me as he does every week is co-host Walter Pless.
Good evening, Jeremy.
How are you, mate?
Very well, thanks.
I'm a little bit excited though, Walter, and you should be as well. Only a couple of games to go and the title race still neck and neck down in the south.
It's still anybody's race at this stage with just 3 games to go.
And a man from one of those sides is Tilford Zebra's Aaron Brasendale.
Yeah, good evening, guys.
Great to have you on the show, mate. And
Thank
we
you.
may as well get straight into the action, Walter. And it was Friday night's match between the Glenorchy Knights and Newtown Eagles, and a surprise result. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this, Walter.
No, quite a few people got a shock, not least the Knights. They were hammered 5-1 by Eagles, a very important win for Newtown Eagles. They desperately needed the points, and it all came together on the evening, Jeremy.
I guess that's one thing I was going to ask you was that the Eagles have been pressing and pressing for a while. They hadn't been playing bad football, but I guess a result like this probably was on the cards, but I didn't expect it to come against the Knights.
Yeah, they finally took advantage of their chances. They scored 5 goals, could have got 10, and they fell behind to an early goal there by Peter Frank of the Knights, a great finish by the youngster. And there were a lot of promising young players on view, Jeremy.
The feeling amongst the crowd when that first Knights goal went in, was it, oh no, here we go again, Eagles are going to get another thumping?
Yeah, they thought it would be business as usual, but Eagles managed to equalise with a great volley by Alex Lezinski, and then they got a penalty just on the stroke of half time, which means that Eagles went in 2-1 up at the break.
Aaron, what do you make of the result? I mean, it was a bit of a surprise to everyone and yourself.
Yeah, I was surprised to see the Knights go down 5-1. There's a lot of pride at both clubs, and yeah, it was a good result in the end for Newtown Eagles.
I guess that penalty, Walter, to put them ahead, that must have been a massive psychological blow to the Knights. They wouldn't have expected to be behind against one of the lower clubs at the moment.
Certainly not, and there would have been a huge amount of pressure on Damien O'Brien taking that penalty, because it's unusual for Eagles to be in front.
I guess watching Eagles play, they just kept pressing and they didn't stop pressing, whereas the Knights sort of went into their shell.
Yeah, very disappointing performance by the Knights. They had 3 key players missing, we must remember. They had Igor, the Brazilian, out injured. They had Janko Begovic, one of the joint coaches, missing because of work commitments. And they had Anthony Grundy, a key defender, suspended.
What kind of blow? I mean, we've watched Igor. I mean, he scored a couple of goals. Does that say to you, look, Knights are nothing without Igor?
They're not nothing without him, but last week against South Hobart he scored probably one of the goals of the season on one leg when he was injured, so that's a sort of example of how he has an influence on the team.
Aaron, you played against the Knights, you've seen Igor play. I mean, does he add a bit of spark to the Knights?
Yeah, definitely. I actually missed the first round game against the Knights because I was away, but I've played with Igor in the Southern team, and he's very smart about the way he plays, protects the ball well, low centre of gravity, and very good distributor of the ball.
We just saw Andy Clark's goal there. Walter, that's got to be up there for goal of the year, I'd imagine.
It certainly is, and Andy Clark's been playing as a defender, but in this game he pushed forward and scored 2 goals, including that brilliant second one.
So I guess some promising signs for the Eagles, but some worries there for the Knights.
Finally, and there's a big smile on my face tonight. Yeah, it's been a while coming, but yeah, pretty happy with that result certainly.
Okay.
Just by a point, I think. I think they play Metro tomorrow, which could be a telling game, depending on that result. Well, for a change of chances, I even saw. Look, it was a great scoreline in the end, but it could have been double that. I mean, the chances, even Alex, the number of chances he missed, balls that went across the box that we just hit the keeper instead of getting a firm touch to. So yeah, they're scoring the chances. That's the biggest thing.
It's very unlike the boys to lay down like that and drop their heads so bad when the tough gets going. A few people didn't stand up, unfortunately, tonight. Discipline's starting to be a bit of a problem. We're struggling for numbers as it is. Tonight we only had 2 on the bench and they had to back up from reserves, and it's just going to hurt us now for the last few games of the season. Started off well, but I thought Eagles were the better of us still. They thoroughly deserved the result, mate. We just didn't play tonight. We come here thinking it was going to be an easy game, and they taught us a football lesson.
Well, as Aaron mentioned, Walter, a great result for Newtown, but worrying signs for the Knights, because if they don't finish off the season well, they could finish as low as 6th.
Yeah, when they're on song they play really well, as they did against South Hobart in the league match, but when their heads drop and their discipline goes, they are terrible. They had Tony Jalalia sent off in this game, so that's 2 players in 2 weeks sent off.
We go down to Kelvedon Park, and another big game, I guess, in the context of things, mainly for Taroona, who are fighting, I guess, to keep their hopes alive of staying back up in the top league.
Well, there we saw Dwayne Walsh score Clarence's opener. Clarence led 2-0 at half-time and finished winning 3-0, and that was the end for Taroona. They have now been relegated.
Sad to see, Aaron, a side like Taroona go. Would you rather play Taroona or Metro?
I suppose they're both similar teams, but Taroona have been up now for a couple of years, and they established themselves pretty well, and they've got some good young players. So I suppose with the 8-team competition next year, those young players will move on to other clubs and present some competition for other players.
Good result for Brownie's men. Now, watching over the vision here, Walter, I noticed one man missing from the Clarence outfit, my mate Moz. I don't know where he's gone.
Yeah, Michael Moscogiannis, the Clarence goalkeeper, played in the reserves as a striker and scored 2 goals. But as evidence of the depth at the Clarence club, they had a young goalkeeper, 16-year-old Alex Tatnell in goal. He pulled off a couple of good saves. They had 3 of their goalkeepers injured at training, so Brownie was really looking for a substitute keeper there somewhere, and he found a good youngster.
What do you make of him? Is he going to have a promising future at Clarence?
Well, there's a lot of young talent there. They've got Moscogiannis, of course, he's the first choice. It's always hard as a goalkeeper because there's only one position.
Aaron, I watched you play against Clarence a couple of weeks ago now, and I really thought that you played some really, really good football, probably the most entertaining match I've seen of the season. Clarence, can you see them, I guess, taking the next step and being competitive next season?
Yeah, they're a very promising side, and I suppose, when we played them, they've always been a good test for us. Although we've had the wood over them over the last few games, but next year hopefully they're up there on the ladder and provide a bit of contest.
Well, we know Dwayne Walsh is probably Clarence's marquee player, but a few youngsters coming through the ranks there.
Yeah, Alex Tatnell, as I've mentioned, Jeremy, the goalkeeper, and Ben Hamlet is another one, and he scored 2 goals in this match, which is a very good performance from a young player.
2 goals, I mean, it came at the end of the season, but I mean, obviously that'll give him a bit of inspiration to get in there, have a good pre-season and come out firing next season.
Yeah, the season's coming to a close, but there's always next year, and I guess these youngsters are probably looking forward to pre-season training already.
I mean, Clarence, they're probably a little bit of a surprise package, made it a fair way through the statewide cup, into the semi-final, but not much they can really take out of the rest of the season. I guess they've just got to finish and try and maintain their position on the ladder. Yeah, they've been hovering in mid-table for several seasons now, and Brownie just has to get them up that next step, Jeremy. I mean, watching the game though, Taroona did have a fair few chances to probably pull a couple of goals back, and you never know what can happen once you get 1 or 2. It's amazing how a goal boosts confidence. Just look at Eagles.
But it's a nice challenge. Coaching is not always about winning as many premierships as you can. It's about developing players and developing yourself as a coach. And when the tough times come about, that's pretty much where you do all your learning.
The first half was awful, and that, we were on the back foot, I suppose, trying to get back into it after that, but we just didn't match it physically with Clarence. They were much harder at the ball. They won all 50-50s and wasn't really anything too scientific about it, but we just weren't hard enough. We played a lot better the second half. We had probably 3 good chances. We didn't take any of them.